Good morning, everyone. I am really excited about today's adventure. I'm going to go on a hike that is supposed to be an excellent hike, a really good hike. It's 6:30 in the morning. It's still dark outside. I'm camped in Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument in southern Utah. First order of business today is to make breakfast. I'm going to use the old microwave here and make some eggs, make a little omelet kind of thing, I think. Let's gather the ingredients here. I've already got the tomato out and my mug and a fork, salt and pepper, and Swiss Army knife. Got my little cutting board here. Let's open up the fridge. Grab everything we need to. Cheese. I cut up these green onions last night. And eggs. Okay, tomato time. Oh, how long should I put it in for? I think you're supposed to do it for a minute and then stir it, and then another minute. If you're doing it with 2 eggs, probably will be a little bit longer with 3 eggs. So I'll do a minute 30 here. Well, so far, wow, that is still very liquidy. I'll do another minute and a half, and I might need to put it in for a third minute and a half. I think we have breakfast. Gonna eat this. I might have some yogurt and granola too. It's gonna be a long day. And then I'll hit the road and I'll meet up with you guys at the trailhead. Good morning again. It is 7:51 now, just before 8 o'clock. And the hike I'm doing today, that I'm on now, is called the Little Death Hollow Wolverine Loop. So it connects 2 canyons. The first canyon is called Little Death Hollow, or Little Death Hollow Canyon. The second canyon is called Wolverine Canyon. And so I'm starting with Little Death Hollow, going down Little Death Hollow, and then I'm gonna go back up Wolverine Canyon. It's basically several miles of slot canyon hiking. Right now, as you can see, I'm in kind of an open, more broad area, but the canyon here is narrowing ahead of me, and eventually it'll narrow to the point where it'll be just a narrow slot canyon that I can more or less just barely fit through. It's not like a super squeeze slot canyon. This isn't the kind of thing where I'm gonna have to be holding my breath to fit through, but it's still a slot canyon, and I'm really excited. And I'm getting an early start, not too long after sunrise, because this is a really long hike. It's about 17 or 18 miles total. So it's an all-day kind of thing, and should be a great day. This guy right here just passed me. This is the way we're headed toward the canyon. There were a couple of other cars in the parking lot this morning. This hike is often done, maybe even usually done, as a 2-day hike because it is so long, and I don't think it's super fast walking. Like when you're in the slot canyon, I don't think it's just like a trail that you can speed right through. I think it might take a little bit more time and consideration than that, so I'll be interested in seeing how long it takes me to do this. So I've been walking down this dry wash here, and I've stumbled across some petrified wood. It's a good sized piece. I've been hiking for about 40 minutes now, have covered about 2 miles, and the canyon is starting to narrow this way And this way it's funneling in to get narrow down here. That's where I'm headed. When I'm in canyons like this, I always like seeing these brush piles up against trees. This is from flooding. All this debris gets pushed up against the tree. You can see it here and over here and on rocks. It's crazy to think about that much water in here. I mean, that's 4 or 5 feet of water. This entire thing would just be full of water. And I'm still coming across petrified wood here. It's a good sized chunk of a log. Still looks like a tree, doesn't it? Two hours in and it's starting to get much more narrow now. This is spectacular. Must be a cow bone. Check out these tiger stripe walls in the canyon here. There. And here. Just gorgeous. Okay, as you can see, it's getting very narrow now. I mean, I can easily span the width of the slot here. That's amazing. I love it. It's always wild to be in slot canyons and see logs above your head. This one isn't too high, it's maybe 10 feet above. I've been in canyons before where there are giant logs 20 feet above that have been washed in by floods. Okay, so there's another log up here, but this one is stuck into a hole in the side of the cliff. How does that even happen? I know it's hard for you to see. There we go. How on earth does that happen? I've gotten to a section that's sort of a drop-off here. I think I can just climb down. Shouldn't be too bad. I meant to pack my GoPro, but I think I left it on the front seat of my car. I don't know if that turned out. I don't know if that got caught on camera, but it's a little bit of an ungraceful slide into this pit of pine needles here. I've been lucky so far in that I've been able to avoid water and mud for the most part. It's chilly outside, and so I'm not too excited about having to wade through muck or frigid water, but luckily haven't gotten to that point yet. The canyon here looks like a petrified wave, waiting to just crash onto unsuspecting hikers. Well, I found an interesting little artifact on the side of the canyon here. This handprint. Unfortunately, I'm positive that is not old. That is a newer creation. There's no way a pictograph could survive on the side of a slot canyon. It would have been scrubbed by water a long time ago. Well, I've reached the halfway point. Behind me here is Little Death Hollow. That's the canyon I've been hiking down. Again, that's the way I came. And then I'm gonna hang a right here and go up this canyon. This is called Horse Canyon. I'm gonna follow that a ways until I get to Wolverine Canyon. I'll hang another right and then follow that way back that way toward where I parked. Where the two canyons meet, Little Death Hollow here and Horse Canyon here, there's just a big old pile of snow. Not entirely sure why. This leads to the Fremont River in a couple of miles, but I'm not headed that way. I'm going this way. Well, I'm gonna sit and relax and eat and enjoy the view here for a little bit. An SUV RVing viewer has sent me a bunch of treats, a bunch of snacks, a bunch of granola bars and other things, so I appreciate that. Suzette, thank you for thinking of me and making sure I don't starve on my adventures. It took me 3 hours, 43 minutes to get here, I believe, and it was 9.5 miles. I think I'm about halfway. I don't know, it might be a little bit longer on the way back. Not entirely sure, but when I am ready to get started again, I'm not going to film the entire way back. You've already seen me walk through a slot canyon for 10 or 15 minutes, and so I don't know if you need another 10 or 15 minutes of me walking through another one on the way back. But I'll for sure show you some of it, and I'll show you the highlights or anything else that's interesting that I come across. Well, I got back to the trailhead, to my car, no problem. Drove around until I found a campsite. That's where I am now, and it is snowing pretty darn heavily. I did not know it was going to be snowing today. Overall, it was a really great hike. It's just rejuvenating for me to just spend a lot of time out in the red rock, just be, surrounded by it. I just love it. I love the southern Utah desert, and so that hike gave me a lot of the southern Utah desert. It was 19 miles total, and it took me about 7.5 hours total. So definitely a bit of a hike, but I can recommend it. The hike back, the one that I showed you only a handful of clips of, it wasn't a slot canyon. It wasn't super narrow. It was a beautiful canyon, much taller walls, much higher walls than in the first canyon, but it was also much wider. Still impressive, still an interesting hike in its own right, but it wasn't a slot canyon, and I'm happy with the hike overall. I thought it was a great hike, really fantastic hike. I have about an hour and a half of daylight left. I guess let me hop out into the maelstrom out here, the blizzard, and show you a little bit of my campsite very briefly. Well, the snow is starting to pile up out here, but here's the campsite. I don't know why I chose this particular campsite. It's fine. It's not amazing. I think I just got tired of driving, and it's not like there are any views because of the clouds and the snow, and so I wasn't driven to go find a campsite with a perfect view or anything like that, but it's fine. It's good enough. I'm ready to be done for the day, ready to relax a little bit. Here's tonight's dinner spread. And here I've got a Greek salad, and I've got some plain Greek yogurt, and then some brown rice over there. I was gonna add some chickpeas or garbanzo beans to the salad, but I can't find my Swiss Army knife, so I can't get it open. The Swiss Army knife is what has the can opener on it. And so I used my mini pocket Swiss Army knife that I always have on me. I used it to cut up the vegetables for the salad. So no chickpeas today, and I don't think I have any other can openers in here. I'm trying to think if I have any of those little military P38 can openers, but I don't think I do. So anyway, this will be fine. I'm gonna heat up some rice to try mixing into here and see how that goes. So let's open up the microwave, toss in the rice. Let me see. Yeah, 2 minutes should be fine. It's plugged in, express cook, 2 minutes. So here it is assembled now. I dumped all of the yogurt in there and mixed it with the vegetables, and then I've dumped some rice in there. I'll keep dumping more rice in as I eat my way through it. Kind of a weird dinner, but should be decent enough. Well, after having eaten through part of this now, the verdict from earlier stands. Kind of a weird dinner, but decent enough for tonight. Oh, I am full, I am tired, my legs are sore. When I got out of the car earlier to show you around the campsite, as soon as I opened the door and stepped onto the ground, I almost fell over. My legs felt so stiff and tired, and that's the first long hike I've done since, way before winter. I can't even remember the last one, so it's been months and months and months, and my legs aren't quite used to it anymore. I'm going to have to work on that throughout the next few months here. And I think that's it for the day. I'm going to stop filming. I'm just going to lie in bed and recover for a little bit and listen to a podcast or something, and then I'll read a little bit later on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know how you are enjoying these Southern Utah adventure videos. There are more of them to come, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.